Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Maya, and in today's video we are going to be doing a wrap-up for May, June, July, and August because I have been in a reading slump all summer. Sorry, interruption. But I've been in a reading slump all summer, so these are all the books that I've read since April actually, because I read these in May, and then I have some June. I think these two are from July, and then some August. So let's just get right into this video, and I will tell you guys a little bit about every book that I read and what I rated it. If I can even remember what I rated it, we're gonna come up with random ratings while I'm filming this video. So let's see, do we want to start at the newest or the oldest? I think the oldest, which I stacked this really bad. Let's just restack this real quick. Better. So the first book I read in May, I'm pretty sure this one was in May, was The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. I think I have a video on this too. Yeah, I do. So I have a video, a Reading My Physical TBR, where I read this one and these two. So this is The Nanny. It is about a dude who needs a nanny to watch his 9-year-old, I think she is, and then this lady who is in desperate need of a job. He owns a restaurant. I'm pretty sure he owns a restaurant. He's a chef. And she is a nanny. I want to pick up her other two books, Lana Ferguson's other two books, but you really get, it's not all about like, it's a lot. So like it builds on the relationship with the daughter and the dad, the relationship with the daughter and the nanny, the relationships with the daughter, and the nanny has this lady who this old lady, and it builds on even the little girl and the old lady, and it's just like there's a lot of relationship building and touching on different dynamics, and I loved that about it. Sorry, I just ate, so my throat's like being weird. What were their names? Aiden and Cassie, and the dynamics are so cute, and the nanny helps to build the dad and daughter's relationship more too. Like she helps them build a better relationship, and I really liked this book. Highly recommend this one. I do want to pick up her other books now. And then we read this one, this long-awaited book. So this was my first time reading the Twisted series, first time reading Anna Huang, any of it. I did like it. It wasn't the biggest fan. When I first started it, I remember in that video I said, guys, I don't think I'm gonna like this. I don't know how I'm gonna read this because I don't like it. And then like about 10 minutes later, I popped back on and I said, never mind, I might be able to read this. It got back towards the I don't know how I'm gonna like it end, but I gave it a 3-star, so it was a good book. Like I did like it. I did enjoy my time reading it. I read it in one sitting. I picked it up at like 7 or 8 and I finished it by midnight. I finished it probably by like 11 or something, but I did read it really quickly. I really liked it. I do want to pick up the rest of the series. It was a really quick read. The words are pretty big, but it is about Alex Volkov, Ava Chen. Ava's brother, I think they live at a college, but her brother is leaving for a while, and he asks his friend Alex to basically watch over each other. They don't get along. It's basically that. So it's a bit of an enemies to lovers, but it's not really enemies. It's just like they don't like each other to lovers. But I did like it. I did enjoy my time reading it after I got through the beginning. I'm not the biggest fan of Alex. That's my main issue. I don't think I like the men like him, the dark men who I don't know, I just didn't like him that much, so yeah. And then we have Adam Silvera book. I think I rated 3.5 or a 4. It might have been a 4. I think I really liked this one. This video actually was a really good video because I ended up with 3 books that I've been really wanting to read that I really liked, so that was really cool. Did not find a 5-star, but I found 3 books that I did enjoy. This is about a thing called the Death Cast, where basically you were sent an email or a phone call or something. You get a phone telling you that you're going to die that day. And so it's like, how are you going to spend your last day or last hours or whatever alive? And so this follows 2 people that basically is called Last Friend, and you can meet someone who is either going to die too, or who just wants to be friends to people who are going to die, like give them someone, their last friend. And you follow these two as they connect on that app, and then it follows their whole journey. It was really good, really sad, obviously, like it was gonna be sad, and honestly they could make this into a movie. They could. I do want to read the next one now, but I gave it I think I gave it a 4. I'm gonna say a 4. It was a good book. So that was that video in May. I read this in June or in May, but this is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I read this. I need to pull the sticker off, so I'm gonna do that while I talk. I read this in audiobook form, so I reads it and watching Victorious and iCarly and watch Sam and Cat. Actually, that was watching Nickelodeon and like live TV. I started watching pre-recorded things, so I watched some episodes of Sam and Cat, but not all of it. But hearing her talk about her time on iCarly and hearing her talk about everything that you didn't see was really interesting. And I don't rate memoir, so I give it a 5, just to like give it a 5. But it was really good. Obviously rating on how she worded her life, but she is a really good author. Like, she worded everything so well, talk all of this sad things that happened to her. I highly recommend it, but there are definitely trigger warnings for this book, but highly recommend it, especially if you grew up with her seeing everything. It was really good. We have Praise by Sarah Kate. Me and my best friend are reading this series kind of together, so I have a post-it note in here. Okay, but we're reading the series together. I think 3 or 3.5. These types of books really aren't for me. I have nothing against them. Like, obviously I enjoyed my time reading it, but they're just not my favorite thing to pick up and read. So I'm reading them with my best friend because she likes books like this. I'm not so sure how I'm going to go into the second book because I like it because it's step siblings, which is gross. But we're both testing it out and we're gonna see. I told her if I don't like it, I'm not reading it because it's weird. But this one was really good. Following Emerson and Charlie. Basically, it's a bit weird because she used to date his son. So that's weird, but really good romance, really good book. I do recommend it too. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but Sarah Kate is a good author. Like, with what she writes, she was a good author. This was a good quality book. So I do recommend if you're into this type of book. I think I gave it a 3.5. Was The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I don't think I gave this one a 5-star. Did I? I gave this a 4.5. I don't think it's a 5. Like, going back and looking, give me that 5-star feeling, but it made me so happy reading it. Ashley Poston, is it Poston or Poston? I don't know. She's one of my favorite authors. I will pick up any book that she releases and I will read it. This is about romance books, but she has a touch of magical realism in it. So in this one, it's about this girl who her aunt died. She's living in her aunt's old apartment. She kind of grew up in. She used to hang out a lot there. It's about her moving into this apartment, but the thing is, when she opens the door, sometimes, not all the time, it's 7 years in the past. So there's this dude in her apartment from 7 years in the past that she ends up meeting, and it follows their little dynamic, and they do have a romance in it. And she is also a publisher, which is something that Ashley Poston does in every book. Her main female is something in the writing industry. That's what she was in this one. It was a really good book. I highly recommend this. I loved the characters' dynamics with everybody. She does really well. She doesn't just focus on the romance, she focuses on everything. So the romance is a main point, but she focused on the friendships, the dynamic with her boss, with I think even the dude's friends and her family and her aunt, and it talks about all of that. And there's always a sense of grief in all of her books. But I really did like this one. I highly recommend all her books. I am trying to read a novel love story this next week, but I'm not sure. But this one, highly recommend. And then, okay, I reread Annotating, which is I underlined everything in pen ink in my purple marker. So I did just buy new ones, so I will be going back and finishing my annotation. I also bought some new tabs, but I reread Powerless, obviously, 5 stars. That one was easy. I did a tandem read of it and Powerful. I did read this in like July, so really late to read, but I did read. I gave it 5 stars too, I think. This one, I knew going in that I was going to ugly cry more than I thought I would. Like, I have never cried this much for a book in my life. I was bawling my eyes out. It was gross, but it was so good. The fact that she wrote this, knowing what happens to the characters, knowing everything that grows from this book, it's amazing. It's because spoiler, Powerless, but this was a really good book. I love Adina. I loved seeing her character and her and what was his name? Was it Mac? Her and Mick. I loved that, and I can't wait for everything that happens in this future of this book. I am currently reading Reckless, so we'll see what happens, but I really liked this book. If you've read Powerless, I highly recommend that one too. And then we go on to August. That is this month now. It is actually September 1st now, but August, I read my anticipated reads this month. So I didn't finish all of them. I read 2 this month, and then I am about to finish another one for the video. I don't think I'm gonna finish any more, but if I do, then I'll finish a couple more. But my anticipated reads. These were not all just from this year. These were just from like the past 2 years, books by my favorite authors. This was one of them. This was one of my most anticipated reads when I started reading, because I have a whole shrine over here for B.K. Borson and her Love Light Farm series. I even have the little special thing of this book, and I have a map of the world and like all that stuff. And this book is signed. All of them are signed. But I read this book. I gave it a 5. This one's definitely one of the least complex books in the series, but it felt so cozy. Like, those books felt cozy, but something about this book felt insanely cozy, because it's like you get to come back into this world with these characters and everybody is there still. Everybody. And you get to see the dynamics of all of them now after their books, after everything has happened. You get to see the town has grown more, and then you get to follow these two and their cutesy little friends to lovers benefits thing that happens and develops into what they end up as. And it gave me so much joy reading this book. I loved it. This is the shortest one in the series, but it was one of my favorites. I think still Beckett and Evie are my favorite. Like, they will always, but these two will hold a special place in my life. She's Beckett's sister and he is Stella's brother. But it was really good. I highly recommend you read this one too. And I gave it a 5, obviously. And then this is the reappearance of Rachel Price. Now, I have not read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I read 5 Survive last January. I gave it a 5 star. I read it in one sitting, gave it a 5 star. It was amazing. So when I heard she was coming out with this one, I was like, I need to read it. I do need to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I need to read this one. This is about Rachel Price, but it's about Rachel Price's daughter. Rachel Price disappeared. I think it's 16 years ago. She disappeared 16 years ago, and her family decides that they're going to make a documentary. So they're going to make a documentary about how it affected all of their lives, including her daughter, who was just like 2 years old when she disappeared. And so this team's in, and then she reappears. She shows up at their front door. She's just there. It's following the dynamic of how it is when she comes back. And also they're trying to solve the mystery. Her daughter wants to know what happened because she doesn't remember what happened. And so it really, honestly, Holly Jackson is a great author, but she writes twists and turns so well, and she writes unexpected things. And my cat's wanting to get in the room, but we're almost done. And she writes unreliable characters. Like, oh, who's telling the truth and who's not the whole time. You can't trust anybody. I think this is the first one that I completely, in 5 Survive, I didn't even trust the main character. And this one I did kind of trust the main character. Like, I trusted her. She was 2. I didn't think she had anything to do with it, which was fine, whatever. But every other character, everybody she came in contact with, I was like, I'm suspicious of you. And I was right to be suspicious of everybody. It's really good though. Like, highly recommend. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Like, some twists and turns in the ending. Holly Jackson's not afraid to do things. She's really not. But this was a really good book. So, these are the, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 books I read this summer. So, I read 10 books this summer. I'm conscious in this dress a little bit. This year is very much reading slump. The whole year. Like, the whole year in that way. I'm starting college again this week. I started some truck in with school and work and friends reading because I want to get back into YouTube so bad. So, I read all these books. They were all actually really good. I didn't get below a 3-star in the summertime, so that's good. I'm hoping to get back into YouTube. I am not gonna have a schedule. I'm just gonna post when a video is ready to post. Hopefully, my goal is to get at least 3 videos a month, which I know is not that many, but with college and everything, 3 videos a month is my goal right now. If I get above that, great. I'm gonna aim to get above that, but 3 is my main goal. So expect about 3 videos a month from me from now on. The holiday season's here, so I have some holiday related videos. I'm also doing like weekly vlogs now to help get some more videos out. So I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, and comment down below any thoughts you have, honestly.